All right, so I'm back. So I think got everything worked out now. So I'm gonna be going live with Rosselyn Chavira, and we're gonna talk about some of her fights. She just had a fight in Combate, so we're gonna discuss that. And as always, if you like what I'm doing here, you can follow me here, or you can subscribe to YouTube as well. I sent the invite. Did you get it? Okay. Hold on, I saw your request here.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. As long as it's good for you,
Okay,
right?
cool. I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I said as long as it's safe for you riding out there and all.
I'm about to pull over.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull over right
Yeah,
now.
I'll let you pull over.
How's your day going?
Oh, good. How was your day?
It was good. It was pretty long, so I'm glad it's over.
Now, I like to let people, when we're starting off these interviews, if there's anyone watching this who may not know who you are, maybe you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name is Rosselyn Chavira. I'm a professional MMA fighter out of Tucson, Arizona. I fight out of Dominate Fitness and MMA.
And, I just watched your last fight in Combate, kind of like, almost like a boxing style. Is that more your background originally?
Yeah, so I started boxing when I was 14, and I didn't transition over to MMA until I was about 24. So I have 10 years of experience in training. But yeah, I guess that you could say that's my go-to is boxing.
Why did you feel the need to transition?
Um, just like at the time when I was training with one of the coaches, well, actually, he was like my one and only coach for boxing. We just had some differences, and it was just really hard for me to find another boxing coach. And then at the time, the gym that I was at, it was they had MMA fighters as well and different coaches. So I kind of just wanted to see how I would do if I would do well. And I felt pretty confident with my striking and my boxing, so I felt like I wouldn't have a problem learning anything new because I feel like I learned pretty quickly.
Were they
So
like
that's what made me want.
I'm sorry. Were they like encouraging you to maybe switch over to MMA because there would be more fights, or?
No, honestly, I love boxing. Boxing will always be like my number one, and I feel like um, just in that time in my life, I felt like it was just really hard for me to find like a good a boxing coach that would just be um, I would be like the priority because that's how it was with me and my coach. But usually here around town, like most of the gyms, every coach has like more than three or four fighters, and it's just hard to get that like one-on-one work. So yeah, I was just kind of looking for something different, and I just decided to try. I didn't want to completely like let go of fighting, so.
I'm curious though because you do see a lot. I mean, obviously in MMA right now, women fighting, I would say, is more popular than it was. But
Yeah.
as someone who was doing boxing like you were, did you ever think, well, it's not, this opportunity isn't as good in boxing, or is that because I don't know? I'm kind of asking what you think.
Now that I've been exposed like to the MMA world, I feel like there is a lot more opportunities just because MMA is a lot. It's becoming more mainstream, and people are more tuned in to watch MMA than like. Don't get me wrong, boxing still has their fans, and like um, there's always people that are gonna love boxing or prefer boxing than MMA. But I feel like in a woman's world, I feel like it's more attractive for a woman to do MMA than boxing. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just like the perception that I get from being exposed to the MMA world as opposed to boxing.
Now you had this fight in Combate. Like, what was your? Maybe we could talk about the fight a little bit, and then we could talk about maybe your experience after.
Okay.
So, what was kind of like your impressions of the fight, having looked back on it after this time?
So I always think I do bad. Like I'm really hard on myself. So I compared my second fight to my first fight. I don't know if you've watched my first fight, but I had like an adrenaline dump. I was really slow, in my opinion. I mean, because I know myself. I know how I fight. I know how I train, and I was really slow. Really like I looked like a rookie. And my second fight, I was a little bit more comfortable in the ring because I come from amateur boxing. In amateur boxing, you don't have the lights, the hype, the walkout song, everything. It's just like, all right, you're in the red corner, you're in the blue corner, box, and that's it. And even in amateur MMA, they give you all the lights, the songs, and everything, the walkout. So it was a lot. It was like really nerve wracking for me to go from one stage to the next because it was overwhelming. But the second fight in Miami, it was a little bit less just because there wasn't a crowd. It was just the people that were there, so the judges, the ref, my corner, my opponent, and her corner, and I felt a little bit more comfortable just being in the cage, and I felt like I portrayed a little bit more of my skills, but like I said, I was still a little bit overwhelmed just because I'm not used to it. But I think I did a lot better than my first fight. But I know that as I continue to fight, I'm gonna like showcase more.
Now, after having the fight, what was your feedback from Combate? Like, do you know if they're bringing you back, or can you even say that?
Yeah, so I actually have a fight a contract with them. So that one was my first one. I still have 4 fights to go. Hopefully I'll be getting back in May, and I want to be as active as I can this year, and then maybe within the beginning of next year, and then just see where it goes from there.
Now, what was your impression of Combate like? Because it is kind of, a fairly large promotion in the Latino market, especially as Campbell's kind of likes to
Yeah.
talk. What did you think of it, having competed in it?
I really liked it. It was awesome. I was taking care of like my meals, just everything from the people that worked there too. They just made it really easy. Like I just had to show up basically.
Now, when you came to Combate, was it something where you had a manager that kind of set that up, or were you kind of involved in that?
So yeah, like I have a manager. His name's David Arvello. He's from First Round Management, and he's taking care of like everything basically. So shouts to him if he's watching or if he continues to watch.
So, so basically, like he just came to you and said that he had found this spot for you in Combate, basically.
Yeah, so him and my coach, my head coach, Bernie Arenas, they coordinate. So he'll get me the fights. He'll run it by my coach, and then he'll tell me like we're gonna do it or we're not, and I just stick to the plan whatever they say.
So is that kind of what your coach said after your last fight? Maybe we'll do another one in May, or
Yeah, so since I have a contract with them, whenever like an opponent comes up that's good for me, they'll let me know in advance, and then I get ready for it. So they're looking at May. We don't have an opponent yet, but hopefully we'll get one soon.
I mean, after the fight, just kind of as a technical aspect, what did your coaches kind of think of it, or what they want to work on after that?
I think just like listening a little more, like getting comfortable with being in the fight and listening. So multitasking is a big thing for my coaches, like being able to execute the plan at the same time, like listening to what he's saying, because he doesn't shout, like he's still talking, but I'm still fighting. So it's like trying to juggle both of them at the same time. It's pretty hard, but I think, like I said, the more I fight, the better I'm gonna get, the more experience, you know.
And what did you think of your opponent, Schaefer, in the fight? What did you feel she did? Like, how many times have you watched it, perhaps?
I've watched it a lot. I honestly, going into the fight, I already knew who she was before I got like the call. Because originally I was supposed to fight somebody different, and the week before the fight, she got injured in her camp. So they found Tyler Schaefer, and she agreed to fight. So I was really happy about that. But I looked her up right away. Me and my coach were looking at her fight videos. She's more of like a Muay Thai practitioner, but she does do jiu-jitsu. I believe she's a blue belt. But um, you know, she was really skilled as well. So I was ready for anything. I honestly was just I thought she was gonna maybe take me to the ground, but it didn't go that way. I think just because like after our fight, we actually talked, and she hurt her toe. So then she was like, "Oh, please don't take me down." In her head, of course, but I didn't take her down because it wasn't part of my game plan. Um, so, but I was impressed, honestly. I think she's a great fighter. She's very skilled.
Now, who are some of the other kind of like, uh, maybe like title contenders and title holders, like in your particular weight and combate?
Well, I know that I was supposed to fight. Her name is Lucero Acosta. I know a lot of people know her from Instagram. So that was my original opponent before she got hurt. And I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, that fight will happen. Maybe sometime this year. But honestly, I don't really know. I just trust what my coach and my manager offer, or like they put on the table, and then we say yes or no. This is a good one. This one's not. And I don't really question it. I just um, show up to training, and then we go from there.
But she's kind of like a recognizable fighter in combate. Like, I don't know if
Right.
she's a title contender or not. I haven't seen enough of it, but they wanted to start you out against her.
Yeah. So they wanted me to start out. Well, my Combate fight contract with her, but she got hurt, so she had to pull out.
It's interesting they wanted you to start by fighting her, though, being that it was your first fight in the promotion.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's something I'd have to ask the man himself. Cause you know what about, right?
Yeah. I'm aware of, but I don't know what her spot is in the pecking order. She's a challenge title holder. She's not a title holder, right? But maybe
Uh,
close to it, right?
no, I don't think she's. No, I don't think she is. I honestly don't know
Oh,
who.
so she's not even like a contender yet.
I don't think so. I think she just lost her most recent fight before mine.
Because I know it's someone like you said who's really visible in the promotion. At least you said like on Instagram and whatnot. So I guess it was just surprising to me that they would bring someone in their first time and have them fight her, but maybe not. Maybe as you're looking at it, maybe it wasn't. Like in the UFC, they would, if someone they were promoting like maybe a little bit or even heavily, most of the time they wouldn't bring in
Yeah.
someone to fight them first. So maybe that's what I was thinking along the lines of.
Like if she was a contender.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, That's interesting though. So, do you think maybe you think they might want to match you up against her in your next fight?
If not the next fight, maybe in the near future. I know that myself and my coach have been kind of wanting to, but I don't know what like the deal is on their end. But yeah, I think it'd be fun.
For some reason, it's like funny when looking at you because it seems like maybe you're like, do you have like kind of a hostility toward her at all, or no, or is it just something you want to do?
Oh, I don't have
Okay.
any hostility, but I just I've watched her fights. I think she's scrappy. And I think it'd be fun. Um, I think it'd be a fun fight.
Now, maybe tell me a little bit more about your training. So, I know you said you had started boxing when you were like 15, and you said maybe you were what 25 when you transitioned.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, had you been messing around with any MMA techniques before then, or was it just kind of right then and there? That's when you started to do it.
Yeah, it was literally like day and night. I stopped training with my boxing coach and I reached out to the MMA coach and I went and I we just started from scratch basically. Um, like wrestling and he was a judo teacher, a judo coach, so we were doing judo and wrestling. We didn't do jujitsu. I hadn't done jujitsu honestly until maybe a few years ago. Um, but I feel a lot comfortable now than I did when I was with that coach, um, in the aspect of like the ground game.
Now, what was the influence? Was it just the fighters in your camp, or had you watched some of it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always watched fighting. I've always been a big fan of fighting, especially boxing. But I don't know. I just like to try new things, and I felt like obviously if I wanted to be an MMA fighter, I had to be a well-rounded fighter. So I had to do and everything. So from wrestling to jujitsu to kickboxing to everything basically. And I mean, I still got a lot to learn in boxing. I'm not like I have a lot of experience, but I don't consider myself like um, you know, like high level.
How many amateur boxing fights do you have?
I have 10.
So, because like I said, you see a lot of this on Instagram with like Team USA type, boxers and whatnot. But that just, I was wondering kind of what you knew about all of it because I know it's a little bit more complicated as far as like the path toward the Olympics or things like that. As to where
Um,
it's more cut
no,
and
yeah,
dry.
it was a well, it was a USA boxing. We trained a lot with like here in Arizona, there's a army base, Fort Huachuca, and they were Olympic boxers there. We sparred a lot with them. Um, so I got exposed to a lot of people in boxing.
Now, as fighters you're watching, like in MMA, did you have any inspiration from fighters, or was it more yourself?
Yeah, I feel like so Ronda Rousey, obviously, she was big, and then like when I learned about Holly Holm, like Holly Holm was she's my like one of my favorites just because she went from boxing first, she became like world champ, and then she transitioned over to MMA, and like she's she's done it pretty well. She's done pretty well for herself, and I don't know. I feel like it's cool to learn that even she went from boxing, and then now Amanda Serrano, she's one of the best boxers in the world, and now she's doing MMA. So I think that's pretty cool.
Now, are there any like boxers or fighters that you pay attention to now that you're competing in MMA more?
Yeah, so I follow Valentina Shevchenko. There's a girl. She's not in the UFC, but I think she was like a champ for Combate. Her name's Jasmine. Um, I can't remember her last name. It's like Jaregui or something, but she's very skilled. Also, Zhang Weili. They're they're just like really elite fighters. in my opinion.
I mean, you watching a lot of boxing? Like, there's a fairly big fight coming up with Spence and Ugas. Are you paying attention to that?
With who?
Errol
With
Spence and
Earl
Ugas
Spence?
just beat
Um,
Pacquiao.
Not so much, just because I started working again full time, and I just haven't had a lot of time to keep up. But I know that Katie Taylor is gonna fight Amanda Serrano, and that's like a big fight because it's like long awaited kind of thing. They're two world champs going toe to toe, so that's this month.
Now, having a fight like that, would it make you think to maybe try boxing again at some point? I mean, because that one's getting some
I,
exposure, you know?
I do. I always think about it, but I just feel like right now I just want to focus on MMA, and maybe if the like if the opportunity presents itself and like my manager says like yeah, let's go for it, then yeah. But if not, then I don't want to press it. I just want to focus on MMA right now.
And what about the UFC that's coming up? There's some fairly big fights on that card.
Oh, I know the one in May.
No, the next one, Volkanovski, Korean Zombie, and
Oh yeah. That um
yeah.
well like the one I'm talking about it's in May 7th I think it is, but it's gonna be here in Arizona, and one of the girls that's in the UFC she's out of Phoenix, Tracy Cortez. She's fighting. Rose Namajunas is fighting, and just engaged. He's also Arizona. So I'm excited to watch those fights.
Yeah, that's a big scene in Arizona. Do you go around to the other gyms or?
We haven't recently, but we try to. We try to get some sparring with different gyms, and hopefully we're gonna do it again. But like I said, I just finished a 2 month academy at, here in Arizona, so I haven't been consistent. But I'm back at the gym, so hopefully I get some news soon, and we can get some training done at other gyms and everything.
How hard is it for you to be training when you're back to like working and whatnot?
It's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult. I mean, I used to do it all the time, and then I took a break. I worked part time, and then started training more. But it does take a toll on you. But I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do, you know.
Yeah. Do you think it's like something to where you? I mean, I know some fighters they continue to keep whatever job they had, and then others that don't. What do you think you would rather do?
Well, I'm gonna keep my full time job right now, just until I can um get my fighting to pay for my life basically. And I mean, if it doesn't, then I'll have a good retirement anyways, and it's a win-win for me.
But wouldn't you need more fights than maybe like three or whatever a year if it was gonna cover it, so to speak?
What do you mean, like work? Like would they
Three per
like?
year, or what? Wouldn't you need maybe five, or how many fights do you think per year you would need?
I don't know. I feel like right now, since I'm starting off, I'm obviously not getting like the big checks and stuff. So I just gotta wait it out. I feel like as long as I'm patient and I'm putting in the work, um, I'll see it eventually.
Now, when you transitioned over to MMA, what do you feel like? What were some of the techniques you felt like you picked up quickly, and some that were harder?
Um, I feel like I picked up the wrestling pretty quickly. Like I obviously I still have a lot to learn just because I started from scratch, absolutely nothing. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. It's just that if I take a like time off, I'll forget certain things, and then it's just like my coach will be like, "Well, you should have done this or you should have done that," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." But it's just like that. I need to just be more consistent. Um, and I will be. Just getting a new job and everything and adjusting is a little hard. So I'm just being patient right now. But now that I got my schedule and everything, I'm gonna be a little bit more consistent, a lot more.
So you think like the grounded? Some people pick that up fast. Some people pick up striking more. Maybe the striking was more in your strength, so to speak, as far as what you're picking up quickly.
Yeah, I feel like I picked up striking because I was fighting in school, so it wasn't hard for me to pick up striking. Obviously, I didn't know like the technique aspect of it. like while I was in school and like fighting, because it was just like, oh, okay, you're fighting somebody, you're just punching. It's not like, oh, you gotta do it this way, your jab is this way. Um, no, but I feel like I picked it up pretty well, pretty quickly, because I trained for about 6 months, and then I think I had my first fight right after. So I started when I was 14, and then I stopped because I got pregnant. And then when I went back 6 months later, I trained for 6 months, and then I had my first amateur fight.
You said you were fighting in school a lot. Was it just that
No, it's
school?
not really scary, but my brother was bullied a lot. My brother was bullied. I was bullied as well, but not as much as him. And he wouldn't defend himself. So I would step in, and that's pretty much how it all started. And it just continued up until high school. And my mom just, like, she thought I was a troublemaker. She thought like I was just angry all the time, but she never knew that my brother was like the one he was like getting bullied pretty bad almost every day. And um she's like, all right, well, what am I going to do about this, so she just had the idea of like maybe trying a boxing gym, and then we went, and then I loved it ever since.
Well, what about him? Was he training too, or no?
Oh no, my brother's like a big teddy bear, but he's also gay. So I think, like, obviously that was the primary reason why he was getting bullied so much. But um back when we were younger, it wasn't like a thing how it is now. Like, it wasn't, people weren't so open about it. He didn't come out until maybe like high school. So it was an issue like all the way up to high school.
So you kind of stayed close by him in school then.
Yeah, we're only 11 months apart, so he was always just like a grade above me.
But I mean, in the school, were you around him so because you
Yeah,
thought so?
we're
Right.
always close, always close.
So really, and it's a way that he got you into training, sort of.
Yeah, I guess I do in a way.
And your mom just she didn't like that you were having to fight that often.
Yeah, well, she thought I was just because they were calling her from school, and they thought like I was causing issues and stuff. So she just thought like me and my brother were causing trouble, and I'm like, I mean, we really didn't. My mom was always working and stuff, so really we didn't have like that kind of relationship where we got to tell her everything. Um, so it was just me and my brother basically.
You seem pretty shy though. You said you're even shy, so but it
Yeah,
was easy for you to get into fights with people over that kind of stuff.
yeah. I would get mad. I would get so mad because I would just see my brother, and he's just like the nicest, kindest person, and like, how are you gonna be so cruel to somebody that's not even doing anything to you, just because of the way he's acting, like. And I feel like a lot of people are like that now. Like, um, people just don't mind their own business.
Like even in your kind of like your fight career, do you have people that like hit on you or whatever?
Not so much hit on me. Like if I post a selfie, I get like the little heart eyes or something. After my last fight, though, I had like a weird messages. Like if I was willing to model like my feet, and just weird stuff. I think they're just like bots or something, but um yeah, they're like there's some weird messages that I get, but I don't pay attention to them.
No, no, I mean hate on you. You said people don't
Oh,
mind their own business. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I
oh,
mean.
I mean, if they do, I don't know, but it's whatever. If I do, um, I feel like people need that. People need that anyways, just because like you can't. Not everybody's gonna like you.
So maybe you prefer if people gave you a hard time, maybe.
I
Because
mean,
some
I
people
don't
like
prefer
that.
it.
Oh, some people do like
What?
it. Some people kind of they almost enjoy it. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like I'm just on a mission, and if you're hating on me, that's cool. If you're not, that's cool too. And I like to mind my own business too. So
But is it hard for you because you are kind of like you said, kind of shy and stuff? And now you're competing in Combate. You're gonna have to compete in front of people. Is that difficult?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It's very difficult because I feel like I was talking to my coach about this. Like my first fight, it was like the camera was literally like right in my face, and I like had no idea where to look, and it was just really awkward for me. And then like my second fight, I had to walk in. There was like smoke coming out. There was the walkout song, and like um, I just had it in my head like I'm just gonna go in there, and it's just another sparring day for me. And he even told me like it's just another Saturday morning, just another Saturday morning, and like I feel that that really helped me just because also that like people not being there, like the crowd, there was no crowd. It was just there was a lot of people, but it was just like the people from Univision and like the camera people. So I think that made it easier as well.
No, the next one there'll be people there probably. How do you think you're gonna figure out how to deal with it first?
I think maybe like the first um few minutes, like walking in, I'm gonna be terrified. But as soon as that cage closes and the bell rings, I think I'll be all right.
But is there anything you would do like before the fight? You think that because it
Um,
could maybe help someone else too, someone like you.
yeah, like I don't know. Like my
Oh,
coach says that maybe we need to do like another few rounds of mitts just to get it all out right before. And I think that would probably help just because like um when we fought this last time, I felt like I was just getting warmed up like my first 2 3 rounds. But I don't know. I mean, only time will tell, I guess.
yeah. I mean, as you get more experience, that would be normal anyway. For
Yeah.
people not getting kind of as much aggression out as they thought they might.
Yeah.
Well, as we're kind of winding down the interview, I kind of wanted to, obviously, I want to thank you for taking time to do this. I can't do this kind of stuff without people like you that willing to talk to me. Um, but I like to let people kind of leave the interview off on something maybe that they think's important or where people could follow you or anything like that.
So I just have an Instagram. And honestly, actually, I had another Instagram. It was Chula underscore MMA, but it got hacked in December, literally like a week before my fight. And the people that are running it are still posting some of my pictures, and I don't know how because I blocked them. But the pictures that I post on this new one, the Chula MMA, it's they're like screenshotting it and then reposting it on that old one. So the only account I have is this one, the one without an underscore. But yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else.
What is Chula?
Um, you don't know what Chula is?
No, maybe I should have looked it up before I talk. I probably should have. Is it bad or?
No, it just means like cute
Oh, okay.
Spanish. It's like a saying in Spanish. I got that name because they used to call my grandma that, and me and her were really close, and she passed away. So I kind of took it, and my last name starts with a CH, so I was like, oh, it kind of matches, so it goes together. Chula Chavira.
Sometimes I don't want to know the answer to something I'm going to ask. That's probably why I didn't look it up. But
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't. I was wondering the entire time, but I was like, if I look it up, then
then
I
you'll.
can't ask her what it means. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I also want to thank you. Sorry that I was late, but thank you for having me on your talk show.
Oh, I appreciate it. And I know you're in the car. It's probably hot in Arizona, so I don't want to like
I'm
keep you
good. I'm
forever.
I'm blessed.
But yeah, I'd love to have you on again, like after you've had another fight or whatever, when you have time. I know it's kind of difficult for you, but yeah, I'd love to have you on again sometime, or if you want to.
I'd like to be on.
Right. Well, again, I thank you so much for taking time to do this, and it was great talking with you and great meeting you.
Thank you, you too. It was nice to meet you. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Bye.